Good evening, my friends, and welcome back to the Watch Wendigo YouTube channel. Tonight, we're going to be looking at the Protech Nexus Mordax. That's kind of a mouthful. This was loaned to me by the same friend of the channel that loaned me the Machine-Wise Mojave and the Heretic Pariah, as well as the Kaiser Huntsman. So this isn't going to get a full review. It doesn't belong to me. It's somewhat expensive. I don't want to damage it. I don't want to be responsible for it. So this is just going to be slightly deeper than a standard unboxing for me, but again, not going to get a full review. So let's go ahead and unbox this guy. Come on, unbox this guy. These boxes are pretty cool. I really like these. Get it out of its little baggie. Come on. There we go. Ooh, that's got a nice feel to it. So there it is, the Protech Nexus Mordax. And I can already tell you, this is a very visually attractive knife. It's quite pretty. I love that sapphire blue blade, and I don't know if you can see that, but that is a small piece of abalone, I believe, inside the plunge lock. Wow. Yeah. It's been a couple of days since I handled this. I've had it for a few days now. And I forgot that for a button lock, this is got a very nice detent. It deploys very well. I'm used to a lot of button locks, plunge locks specifically, that really have very, very poor detents, and the deployments generally are not very satisfying. Yes, very smooth. Okay, so let's go over the overall specs of this knife. The overall length is 8.125 inches. It's got a MagnaCut blade in a blue PVD coating. The blade length is 3.5 inches with a 3.13 cutting edge. The weight of this guy is just under 4 ounces at 3.84 ounces. It's running on bearings, and the handle is aluminum. So if I remember correctly, Protech is... yeah, pretty sure. Protech is a American-made company. This is the first and only one that I've ever handled, personally. Wow, just that blue is very pretty. So, let's go over a couple of things really quick. As far as the action is concerned, so I'm going to rate this against other plunge lock operated knives that I've handled. Not overall, like not overarching in the sense that, you know, rated against everything that I've ever handled, because plunge locks as a whole, for me, from what I've experienced, have generally pretty poor detents compared to other locking systems, and their actions can be just fine. You know, the way they feel when they're moving, that is usually not affected that much by it being a plunge lock. It's just the detent. But the action is also pretty exceptional on this. I rated the action a 7 out of 10, and I rated the detent a 7 out of 10. Again, that's comparing it against other plunge locks, not everything that I've handled. If I was to compare it against everything that I've handled, I would probably leave the action where it's at, because it is very good. But the detent, I would probably bump down to a 5 out of 10 or maybe a 6 out of 10. I do really enjoy the aesthetic of this knife, but I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I do not have, don't really have any experience using or carrying this. Again, it's not mine. It was loaned to me. It's literally just here for me to show to you guys. There it is. It's very pretty. So I'm in the process of moving at the moment, so most of my collection is packed up, so forgive me, I don't have a lot of good comparisons to show you against this knife. One thing I do have is the knife in my pocket, which is the Knife Standards RR Station. And then another thing that I have laying on my desk is this absolutely filthy iridium. Again, this was given to me to sharpen by a friend. I'm going to clean it up for him and sharpen it, but because I'm in the process of moving at the moment, I just haven't gotten around to it. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't gotten a hold of me and asked where his knife is at, but he's aware of my situation, so he's probably just being very patient. He's a patient individual as it is. So I don't have a lot to say about this because I didn't carry it. I haven't cut anything with it. I just kind of wanted to show it to you. I think it's very visually attractive. It's made by a very well-received company. And I mean, that's kind of it, guys. One thing that I do think is pretty cool is this sapphire blue. Just goes to show that, you know, PVD can be done in different colors. And I know a lot of the community doesn't feel this way, but I would like to see companies explore different colorways. I think adding a touch of color to something makes it a little more unique, and not everything has to take itself so seriously. Kind of like that donut knife that I made some shorts of. I didn't bother to make a full-length video on that because the bottom line is it's a little too small. It's not something I'm actually going to really carry or use. I just thought it was kind of neat, so I showed it to you. Same kind of goes for stuff like this, although this is more of a size that if this was mine, I would have no problem carrying and using this. I mean, that feels really good. Let's see, I didn't rate this guy on ergos, probably because I haven't really used it, so it's all just somewhat theoretical unless I did use it, but just kind of feeling it. The ergos really are pretty good. Where's the balance point on this knife? Right there. That's actually pretty much right where I would want it to be. So if I was to rate the ergos, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. They're good. The balance point is good. It feels good in the hand. It felt good in multiple different positions. I mean, I could definitely, I end up using my knives like this a lot when I'm cutting into different packages. And I also use my knife like this a lot when I'm doing heavier cutting, like the hard plastic straps that you'll see on freight, or if I'm, you know, bending a garden hose or something over the top of the blade and then cutting like this. It works pretty good. And let's see, pencil grip. I rarely use my knives like this, but this knife would be perfectly fine like that. No complaints whatsoever. That's going to be all, my friends. I just wanted to show this to you. I think it's pretty. Give you the overall specs, my general impressions of it. I'm actually really into this knife. I like that touch of abalone. I like the way the aluminum handle feels. I really dig this pattern on the handle. I may actually be seeking one of these out for my own collection. If I'm able to find one and get my hands on one, you will get a full review, but just not this one because it doesn't belong to me. And I'm not going to risk being responsible for any damage done to it. So that's going to be all, my friends. Please like and subscribe. Wendigo, signing off.